Thanks for joining us on Key Factors, presented by the raceguide.com.au. Stu Rich and Mike Wood here, and well, we're at that time of year where we're in between the two big standalone meetings in Sydney. Hawkesbury last weekend, we've got Scone to look forward to next week, but it's Rosehill this weekend. And how about this time of year, man? Warrnambool today, it was Wagga Wagga as well. I love this time of year.
It's a great time of year, isn't it? 5,500 metres at the Bull. Doesn't get much better than that. What a great race today. And mixing up those races with 1,100 metre sprints at Rosehill keeps us analysts on our toes.
It sure does. And Hawkesbury last weekend, you enjoyed out there?
It was a great meeting. No qualms with the track. A really great day in the northwest of Sydney. And the only qualm I have got is Hugh Bowman. What was he doing not turning left at the 250 metre mark on Artistry? What was that?
No, I think a few punters are still asking the same question. I sure am. But hang on, credit where credit's due. He's going to bounce back. And Shalala, a good value tip there for the race guide followers as well.
Yeah, she was big odds and she got the chockies last week.
All right, well, look, let's jump straight into it. We are back at Rosehill this weekend, and the first leg of the quaddie is over 1,500 metres. And, well, big fields are the theme of the day, and plenty of provincial form to get your head around here. We've got Kembla, Wyong, Newcastle represented, all coming to town for a crack at the 100 grand on offer. And Waller, well, it's going to happen a lot this winter. He's got 4 runners, and we've got a visitor there from Melbourne. And an interesting French recruit here, La Corbett for Matty Smith.
Yeah, Matty Smith, well done. A good international recruit. Looks like a Waller horse, doesn't it? But Matty Smith's got it. Look, it's the first time we've been to Rosehill for a few weeks. It's hopefully a good track, or it should be a good track on Saturday, and hopefully a fair bias as well. Sometimes Rosehill can be a bit near pace, but just the winter months, just the edge off the track, it should be fair. Coming maybe just slightly off rails. Just a lowly benchmark 72 to start things off, over 1,500 metres. A fair tempo is forecast. So across to 3 key factors based on those conditions. We think a good track has to be a key factor all day on Saturday. A lot of these horses have wet track form. A big field starts us off, so position and run is important. Some of these favourites have a wide barrier. And a really evenly matched race, we have to find a horse that can beat the handicapper. Scope's a key factor too.
All right, well, let's have a look at the market here for the first leg of the quaddie. And as I said before, Chris Waller, I mean, he's got 4 in the race. So let's have a look where some of his runners are as we head to the market here. And there's one of them right on top, Chandana at $4.60. Dreamforce back to the dry, $6. Via Napoli, $9. They're the only 3 under $10. And then how about this? I think there's another 9 runners in between the $10 and $20 mark. So a huge wide open market to kick things off, Mike.
I think you'll be saying wide open a bit in this show, Stu, won't you? Let's have a look at a couple of replays. And usually we go a little bit left field for the last leg of the quaddie, trying to find the winner. But we've got to go left field, don't we? We've got to go to old form to see how good some of these horses could be. This is Dreamforce on the pace in the Hawks colours, the orange. Fighting on okay, had his chance this day under similar conditions, 1,400 metres on a dry track at Rosehill. Had his chance, like we said, but it's more the form around him that's good, isn't it, Stu?
Yeah, that's Zaritza coming home down the outside and Royal Tudor on the inside. I mean, he's so tough to get past.
Yeah, really good horses first and second. They ran big races over the autumn and a gap to 4th, which is important there.
All right, that was only a benchmark 75, but for the next replay, we're going to take you to a Group 2, and this is the Autumn Classic down in Melbourne, Mike. Top Ravine.
Well, he's now with Matty Dale, isn't he? This is back in the days he was with Mick Price. Top Ravine on the pace in the Mick Price colours, the navy blue and the white with a white cap. Like Dreamforce, he's got his chance this day. He fights on okay, but once again, Group 2, it's the form lines around him that count.
Yeah, that's Tally running away with the race. We saw Tally line up in the Sydney Cup, so again, more good form around this horse, and well, that's a solid performance.
Not bad for a benchmark 72, is it?
All right, well, let's have a look at the key factors. We're looking for the gold. Take us through the first leg of the quaddie.
Well, straight away, there's those wide barriers, a big concern for Chandana and Dreamforce. I mean, the Hawk stable sometimes scratch their gallopers when they're drawn wide, so Dreamforce may not race. Look at that, but he does have the scope and improvement and loves a good track to overcome that wide barrier. So don't put a line through Dreamforce. Via Napoli, loads of upside as well, and a couple of gold bars as well there. There's a couple of gold bars off the page in this big field. At Top Ravine, we've talked about, drawn really well, and he's got scope and upside too.
Gold bars outside of the top 8, you say? Well, that's an interesting one because we don't usually see those. Not sure what to expect then as we look at the overall ratings, because if you're saying there's gold off the page, let's have a look. Here we are. Well, look, we're starting at 10 and going all the way down to 9. That's got to be one of the most stacked fields I think I've ever seen on this show.
It officially is the most stacked field we've ever produced.
There we go.
Once, like we always say, when you've done hours of analysis, you come up with a stacked field like this, it almost breaks the heart, doesn't it? But we nailed this race a similar race a couple of weeks ago with a stacked field like this, so maybe we'll do it again. Big odds, on top, equal top rater. We talked about him before. Top Ravine's the best bet for us. He'll get on pace, he'll fight hard. Stepping up to 1,500 metres is perfect for him. So at those odds each way from the inside hour, he's perfect. And there's nothing wrong with his import, La Corbett. The barrier trials are good. And the French form's good too.
All right, so look, could be a little bit of value there coming from the import. There's a look at the first leg of the quaddie. We're going to jump straight into the second, and it's the Lord Mayor's Cup over 2,000 metres. And I mean, at first look at this race, it was like it's a rerun of the JRA play. We've had top of my list, Sons of John, New Tipperary, Big Blue, Slow Pace, just so many coming from that, and Happy Hannah as well. And Pornichet I saw in this race. I mean, what an interesting career this guy's had since being in Australia. I think only 7 starts ago, he was lining up, I think it was 4th in the Cox Plate. A bit tendon injury, over to WA with Dale Morton. Then I think it was, well, now he's back again for Kieran Maher. What's doing with this horse?
Well, I think he's a stallion, isn't he? So maybe he's worked it out and maybe he just doesn't want to race anymore. But maybe Kieran Maher will find the trick to him. Let's see how he does on Saturday in this 2,000 metre race, the feature race on Saturday. It's a listed level race, which is the feature on Saturday, like we keep saying. Fair to steady tempo only. A couple can go forward from out wide, so hopefully it will be fair, but they might stack up like last time. A good 3 to good 4 conditions are forecast on Saturday, and a fair bias we're hoping for on Saturday as well. Across the 3 key factors, a good track again all day on Saturday. It's a key factor for us. Distance, these horses coming up to 2,000 metres, and there's some really up and down form in this race. So reliability has to be a key factor too.
Okay, well, let's have a look at the market. And what I'm looking for here is some of that JRA form. You know, I'm sure it's going to rise to the top in some way. But it's allergic on top at $5 at Rosehill. There's New Tipperary, Astronomos, top of my list, Happy Hannah, Sons of John, Big Blue. They're all coming through that form. But this is telling me another wide open market, another wide open leg of the quaddie.
Well, it shows the bookies don't know what to do they, with this race? And let's have a look at the lead-up race and see why maybe they don't know what to do. There's a few horses for me to pick out in this race. Top of my list, the leader, the mare in front there in the purple and pink there. Sons of John just behind her, fighting on pretty well. Astronomos in the red and white, coming 4 and 5 wide, fighting on okay too. New Tipperary completely out sprint in the yellow sleeves, just near the rail in sort of 4th or 5th there. And Happy Hannah, 6th or 7th in the blue and white, just doing okay.
Look, top of my list does win. Sons of John second, but what do we do with this race?
We put a massive line through it, Stu. Near pace bias, near rails bias, slow tempo, heavy track. Ignore that. Slow pace came last and he came out on 1 next up. Put a line through it.
Okay, we're putting a line through that race, but we can't put a line through the Matriarch Stakes in Melbourne over the Spring Carnival. This is some big finishes here from Jessie Bell and Happy Hannah.
Yeah, Jessie Bell, kind of those multicoloured colours, coming 3rd or 4th out widest, just looming up now. Happy Hannah still last at the 250 metre mark in the blue and white once again, storming home. Jessie Bell keeps coming, but Happy Hannah, wow.
Yeah, it's just over this last 50 that the punters probably thought they had the cash. Oh, look at that. Got close, not good enough on the day, but maybe this week at Rosehill's all day.
Well, she's Group 1 place over 2,000 metres too, a good horse.
All right, well, as we're looking to do here, let's look for the gold key factors. Mike, take us through it.
Well, plenty of gold for distance, including the favourite Allergic, who loves the 2,000 metres, but maybe a firm Rosehill track, not ideal for Allergic. He doesn't really have a strong turn of foot, so especially the steady tempo, not ideal for him. Let's look at these horses with big gold bars though. New Tipperary loves a good track, loves the distance despite last start. We're putting a line through that like we said. He's so reliable. And look, 3 gold bars for Happy Hannah too. She's been crying out for dry surface.
Okay, so 2 horses there with 3 gold bars. Sounds like there's a bit of an air of confidence. Let's have a look across at the overall ratings. And, well, New Tipperary on top from Happy Hannah we saw. Are we thinking it's a 2-horse race here or it's not that easy?
Well, we're kind of terrified at top of my list. She did win well last start and obviously there was a big improvement in the ratings. She's gone up sort of 12, 30 kilograms in the ratings and she could be on the way up. But like we keep saying, we don't trust that form. So we're sticking for those 2 top raters. We think New Tipperary can turn around this Saturday. He'll be up near the pace and boy does this horse stick on. He really sticks on the last 150 metres, which he'll be doing on Saturday. And Happy Hannah swooping from midfield on a good track. Watch out for her too.
All right, so we could see a bit of a form reversal there from the JRA Cup. That's a look at the first 2 legs of the quaddie for this weekend at Rosehill. Stick around and we'll wrap it up with legs 3 and 4 after the break. Welcome back to Key Factors, presented by the raceguide.com.au. We've had a look at the first 2 legs at the quaddie for Rosehill this weekend. Now it's time to have a look at the sprint over 1,200 metres. And Jason Coyle's got one here, Sweet Serendipity, a quick hit and run up to Doomben was all he needed to get it back in the winner's circle. But before that, it was Untamed Diamond that won the lead-up race that could be for this with Serendipity, Sweet Serendipity, Yuma Desert was there and Knit and Pearl as well. So we'll see how that form shapes up here.
It looks like another really closely matched race, doesn't it, for the 3rd leg of the quaddie. Really tough quaddie for us on Saturday. Let's look at the way this race sets up. Benchmark 85, 1,200 metres. The last couple of races on Saturday, both sprint races with a strong tempo. And at Rosehill, it sets up a certain way. We'll talk about that in a second. Good 3 to good 4 and a fair bias we're hoping for on Saturday. So across the 3 key factors, because of the way these sprint races are set up, you want to be in the right position in run. You don't want to be making ground out wide with no trail into the race at Rosehill. You need to get that trail off those strong leaders. Rosehill Gardens, looking for a certain type of horse to enjoy Rosehill Gardens as well. And Surge, strong tempo. You need a horse that hits the line. All
right, many different form lines to weigh up here and a few fresh horses as well that the punters have got to take into consideration as we have a look at the market. And, well, I mean, it's Untamed Diamond. Winning form is good form and it's $7 to do it again, but $7 the field, mind you. Element of P, right there, $7 equal favourite. Torpenhow, $8. Yuma Desert there. There's Paint, Girl Sunday, Knit and Pearl 9s. There's plenty under $10 there. And, look, this doesn't get any easier again, as we keep saying.
$7 out of $13 on the first page, and it carries on, doesn't it? Let's have a look at a couple of replays to see if we can make head or tail of this race. We talked about this race at the top of the preview, didn't we? This is Sweet Serendipity speeding along at a strong tempo out in the lead in the black and white. Untamed Diamond in the yellow and green, 3 wide, no cover fighting on. Yuma Desert on the white on the inside fighting on okay too. And Knit and Pearl had to get jagged way back from the outside barrier. She's in the orange coming home on the rails.
Yeah, a bit to look at here, but love this front of Untamed Diamond. Really just kept lifting to the line. That's what I love to see in a horse.
Looked like she was gone. She wasn't. What a win.
All right, you mentioned Surge as one of the key factors. We're going to take you back to, well, a swooping run here. And this was down in Melbourne, and, well, this is one for Godolphin that might just be good on Saturday.
Well, actually, yeah, Royal Randwick, 1,200 metres, strong tempo. Similar setup to Saturday, same distance, same tempo. Torpenhow caught James McDonald by surprise, getting way too far back this day. He's coming second from widest in the Godolphin Blue, storming home really well, beating some good horses on the inside, and beaten by a horse that was in form in Denver, so no love lost there. The form references are good.
Most importantly, last run before a break as well, and yeah, another horse that's sticking on well and came home. Let's have a look at the key factors here, Mike. Again, the gold, it's leg 3. Let's get the Quaddie home.
Let's find those horses that hit the line first and foremost. Torpenhow, we just saw that. He comes home from last and he's really strong to the line, so he gets a gold bar for Surge. Knit and Pearl, we saw in the previous replay. She's a really tough mare that really sticks on as well. She's quite strong. Look, none of these horses have very good Rosehill records, and we think Girl Sunday might go north to Queensland. She's the only one with a decent Rosehill record. Knit and Pearl draws well. Along with Untamed Diamond, she'll get a decent spot on pace despite being drawn wide.
All right, not much gold to speak of across the page there. I've got another feeling we might be seeing another really stacked field here as we have a look at the overall ratings. And, well, there's 3 equals on top there. But hang on, Frill Seeking. Didn't see her in the market. Up to 10.5, equal top rated there. But this is a horse, I understand, has never won at Rosehill.
Well, not many of them have won at Rosehill. You sort of look at Frill Seeking and go, Rosehill, no. Then you look at the rest and you kind of go, maybe. Let's have a look at the best bets. And it's a stacked field. There's a bit of a gap between 6 and 7 top raters. We're looking between those top 6. We think Girl Sunday will go north, so the best bet for us is Torpenhow, Godolphin Blue from midfield, storming home, and Frill Seeking. If she gets the back of the leader, she's such a tough mare. She'll be hard to toss.
Okay, a little bit of value there. It's good to see. Let's wrap up the last leg of the Quaddie. It's another sprint race over the 1,100 metres. And, well, you know it's that change in seasons, don't you, when there's 8 runners out of the 16 horses in the field that are returning from a spell. But we've got a real mix of the lesser-known trainers as well here. We've got Nadu from Grafton. We've got Angela Davies, so Brendan Mackay had Nadu. And I love this mix. You've got these good trainers, the big trainers in the last, but we've got to sort out the form.
Yeah, really tough race again to look at, and this is a really tough Quaddie. Benchmark 78, 1,100 metres, strong tempo. Again, there's a few of these leaders coming from out wide, making it a good strong tempo. Good 3 to good 4 and fair bias we have talked about already. So across the 3 key factors for this race, look, it's the same race setup, so you need the right position to run just behind those strong leaders with a trail. Rosehill Gardens, once again a key factor in distance. 1,100 metres is a specialist distance range.
Well, punters have been keeping pretty quiet since all these markets opened on the Quaddie legs, and as we have a look at the market here, still not too much change, but it's Bonnie O'Reilly on top, fresh off 2 nice trials. In Times of War there, $5. This horse for Waller's found one better at 2 runs this prep. Rolito right there, Machine Gun Jubs at 9, and, well, not as wide as the other legs, but still not many moves here.
Yeah, we're going to look at a couple of left field replays like we always do in the last leg of the Quaddie, starting with a barrier trial. This is Bonnie O'Reilly. She's first up. Half the field's first up, like Stu said before. She's second from the outside in the red and yellow, just looming up now, quickening up nicely. Behind her is a stablemate Rowinda in the green sleeves, fighting on okay too.
Yeah, love this trial. This horse really just sprints when the jockey wants, and I reckon he just sort of puts her away at the end too. Just a nice professional type.
Beautifully throttles down, lots of sprint. perfect for Rosehill.
All right, well, there's one look at a replay. It is in the trial, but we're going to have a look at Waller's runner here in Times of War in the market, and this one here is its only start at Rosehill.
Yeah, important to see which of these sprinters love Rosehill. It's one of the key factors we talked about in Times of War. 3 wide in the blue and white, just looming up now, giving a great kick from the 300-metre mark and posting some pretty good sectionals. She gets run down, but pretty good one runner down, didn't she, Stu?
Yeah, that is. It's just a really strong, I don't know, run it down here, but it's just the way this horse kept fighting the line. Love it.
Yeah, Sprite beats her there. Good form reference.
All right, well, look, Mike, we've got to get the quaddie home here. Key factors, gold bars, take us through it.
Pretty simple. Right at the top, Bonnie O'Reilly, positioning run perfect. Just camps behind those strong on-pace leaders. Rosehill Gardens, she's 1 from 1 there, and that was over a bit of a longer distance. 1,100 metres first up's ideal for her. In Times of War, we saw her distance 1,100 metres perfect as well. The wide barrier is the risk for her.
Well, look, let's bring up the overall ratings, and again a bit of gold there, but here we see it's all about Bonnie, and I want it value here, Belle Serene, right up there at 10 rating points.
Yeah, I mean, she's a huge roughie, isn't she? And which is a surprise for us because she won so well first up and she's drawn well, and she should like Rosehill 1,100 metres too in Times of War and Rowinda. Right in the mix, we're worried about them, along with the Queenslander coming from up north, but we'll go with the favourite. Why not? She's going to be so hard to beat, Bonnie O'Reilly. Perfect setup for her on Saturday. We think she'll firm. We think she'll be really well backed in the get-out stakes, of course. And Belle Serene, she'll firm as well. She's great from the inside barrier too. Okay, always good to see a bit of value there to close out the quaddie legs. Well, look, we're going to wrap this up, and I guess it was a big miss, a few unlucky runs out there last week at Hawkesbury, but sounds like we could be going pretty wide in this quaddie again. Well, you'd think so. When you look at the way these races set up and you think this is going to be impossible, and well, there's some big numbers in there, aren't there?
That's a lot in the first.
But the percentage is good. Look, race 6, tick the F box if you really want. We've picked the top 8 raters there, but the rating's been off the page, so you can choose even more. Race 7, we really like those 2 each-way bets, and there's the 2 boxes we'll tick in the quaddie. New Tipper and Happy Hannah, both fighting on well on a good track. Race 8, we've gone a bit wider, but maybe not so wide because Girls Sunday might go north, so we might be left with just those 4 runners. And race 9, we're going really short. You could just go Bonnie O'Reilly, but why not put Belle Serene on those massive odds? Okay, so it looks like fat, skinny, fat, skinny. That's the way we're playing the quaddie this weekend at Rosehill. But look, it's going to be all important again for the race guides, all the profilings. That's what we need to be seeing at Rosehill. We need those horses that can rip on the good, dry surface this weekend at Rosehill. But that's all from us from Key Factors. Hope we've steered you into a few winners, and all importantly, a big quaddie for this weekend for everyone playing out there. Cheers, good punting.
See you next week.